Hey guys, how you doing? Hopefully you're doing okay. I'm not going to read through the full article here, although there is a link in the description. I'm going to give you a pretty thorough overview of the topic. Once I've done that, I'm going to give you my opinions on the subject, which are pretty much a knee-jerk reaction, my gut feeling. I've not analysed this situation. I've not given it a great deal of thought, just my immediate thoughts on the subject, which you might well disapprove of, and that's fine if you do. We're adults here. We're allowed to disagree. And I do encourage your comments, of course, particularly if you do disagree with my take on things. But let me tell you what this is about. So a California judge has said that the drive-sharing company Uber, so we all know who Uber are. They're the new taxi company in town kind of thing. Maybe not so new now. They've been around for a while. I've never been in one myself. But in any case, a California judge says that the company Uber cannot be held liable for the heinous crime that was committed by an ex-driver. And the ex-driver in question is this scumbag here, Brandon Sherman. He's now 44 years of age. He comes from San Francisco, I believe, he comes from San Francisco, and this incident happened in San Francisco in 2018. I'll give you the broad strokes of the incident in question, and that is that a woman, we don't know her name, we don't know her age, but a woman asked her boyfriend to arrange for an Uber driver to collect her, to take her home or to take her to a destination. Apparently she asked the boyfriend to arrange that because her battery in her phone was about to die, so she asked for the boyfriend to arrange that. The boyfriend did arrange that, and the woman was waiting for an Uber driver. Suddenly, or at some point, this guy drove up to where the woman is in the vehicle that you see in front of you, and the vehicle still had Uber logos attached to the vehicle. So, putting two and two together, the woman in question believed that the vehicle was indeed the Uber that she believed her boyfriend had called. So she thought it was safe to get into the vehicle, etc., etc. She wasn't able to double check that it was the right vehicle because the battery on her phone had died. Lo and behold, it turns out that this scumbag was dismissed from Uber. His partnership with Uber was disintegrated sometime beforehand. Why? Well, because he had been accused of attempting to kidnap and assault two women on separate occasions over the previous 6 months. So Uber caught wind of this and they fired him. They tore up the agreement with him. He was no longer an Uber driver. He was now an ex-Uber driver, but he maintained the Uber logos, which he kept attached to the vehicle. So seemingly the woman that was kidnapped, assaulted and raped by this scumbag, who has since been convicted of that. He's currently in jail on an 11-year sentence, I believe. The woman that was kidnapped, assaulted and raped by this scumbag, I believe, if I'm understanding correctly, has entered into proceedings to sue Uber, presumably for financial damages, for restitution. We don't know the details of that, but my guess would be for, I'll say hundreds of thousands of dollars, but I know that's not the case. I would really think it's millions of dollars, multi-millions of dollars. I would have thought, that's a guess on my part, but I would have thought that the woman in question, who did suffer a heinous crime, as the California judge has correctly said, she was assaulted, kidnapped and raped by the scumbag. She was attempting to sue Uber, but the judge has said no, we cannot proceed with this legal case against Uber. Uber cannot be held responsible for those actions, those crimes committed by people posing as an Uber driver. It would be up to the customer's responsibility to ensure that they are entering vehicles with an actual Uber representative. And that's pretty much the full story. I mean, I've given you an overview. I think I've given you absolutely all of the relevant points, but of course there is a link in the description if you'd rather go through that yourself. But essentially, the California judge has said there is no dispute that the plaintiff was the victim of a heinous crime, but California law does not provide a basis to hold Uber liable for her injuries. And so that's it. Now's time for my opinion, to share my opinion. And my opinion is I agree with the judge, frankly. I mean, again, this is just a quick judgment from my point of view after reading this article a couple of times without giving it too much thought, and perhaps you're not even interested in my opinion. But my opinion is I agree with the judge on this. And why do I agree? Well, because where would the line be drawn if you were to allow Uber, or indeed any other private entity, even public entity, to be sued over somebody misrepresenting themselves? Then, what other situations would you allow such legal proceedings to occur? I mean, people can easily pretend to be in positions that they're actually not in. It can happen all day long. So I think the law does have to be realistic and understanding that you can't just go around suing companies willy-nilly. And I've got to say, especially when Uber appears to have done the right thing. So I would say that given that Uber did terminate the relationship with this driver, ex-driver, on the basis of the accusations made against him by two women on separate occasions, Uber did the right thing. They discontinued the relationship with this guy. Hey, buddy, you've had these accusations made against you. You know what? No. We don't want to deal with you. Goodbye. Relationship over. You're no longer an Uber driver. Now, could you argue that Uber could have done more to retract the logos and any marketing material that they provided to the ex-driver, Brandon Sherman? Could Uber have done more? Hey, ex-driver, if you don't return all of these materials, we're going to fine you $300, $500, whatever it happens to be. Could Uber have done something like that? Yeah, perhaps. We don't know the full details. But at the same time, I would be thinking that in this day and age, if you wanted to have a fake Uber logo on your car, you could quite easily arrange for that. You can go to a printer, a screen printer. You can get them to print off something nice in vinyl. You can 3D print something. You can probably go on eBay or Etsy and buy something that somebody else has produced, which would allow you to present yourself as an Uber driver. So to me, I don't know, the previous kind of argument that I brought up, could Uber have done more to retract any marketing materials that they had provided this driver with? To me, it's kind of irrelevant, seeing as that they could quite easily be replicated by a motivated party. So it is, unfortunately, I would say, I mean, these are horrible words to say, so my words are clumsy, but it's a fact of life that there's going to be bad parties out there that are going to present themselves as someone that they're not, so that they have the opportunity to do someone harm. And that's what this case is here. And I, again, agree with the judge. I don't think it's something that Uber could reasonably be sued over. And that's that, really. Again, I do think that a few of you might find my opinion offensive. Of course, it's not meant to be offensive. Of course, I'm not looking to detract away from the crime at all. Not in the least. The guy's a scumbag. I'm glad he's in jail. The article tells us, I believe there's a typo, but it tells us that the scumbag is serving an 11-year sentence in state prison after a jury convicted him of kidnapping, assault, and dissuading a witness. It says May 2011. However, I believe that must be a typo. I mean, I'm thinking 2021 maybe. I don't know. Either way, the guy's a scumbag. He's in jail. Arguably ought to have been sentenced for a longer period of time. but I don't think Uber is to be punished for this, in my opinion. I'm going to wrap things up here, guys. Has this been worthwhile? If so, please do like, comment, subscribe, share the video as you see fit. Thank you.